Welcome back to Unfettered episode 9, part 3? Yes.
Jesus.
I know, right? Always feels like, okay, we're already 4 hours into this. Oh, that was 2 hours. So, we just saw this shared memory from Constance of her time in Maradoon. And it was a horror show, and so the captains recover from that. Honey, no one's disputing your past. We're just disputing whether it excuses what you've done, because you've put us in danger. You put all of us in danger.
I have been running Molokai in circles so he doesn't come here.
Can you make a persuade check for me, please?
Sure.
Let's see if.
And as we were talking about on break, oh, look at all this inspiration I have.
So this is the truth, right? So.
Yep. Persuasion with... that flat D20.
It's better than the 2, I guess. They don't think you're lying, but
they just don't like you.
Maybe their impression is that you're like slightly misrepresenting your actual intentions. If by running Molokai in circles you mean keeping your ass out of jail.
Molokai knows my calling card. It's been in Illand. It's been in Dune Simic. Hell, it's even been in the Crystal Harbor. But you haven't seen it in Sanctuary.
Captain Card speaks up. She has a point. But you still stand on your charges. We know who you are, Constance. As much as your captain likes to keep you away from us, what we don't know is why you are doing the things you are doing, and why we should not take your ships from you.
What I'm doing? I'm preparing an army.
See? Right there. She said it. Right there. I think
just
Marshall puts his hands face palms a little bit. Captain Stormheart, why are you putting together an army? What why?
I'm pretty sure I already said I'm going to take down the Empire.
Okay, so you're trying to stir up a revolution, a coup?
More or less, yeah.
And you think that all of us should just let this happen? You think that this war will somehow make it easier for pirates to live out here?
You haven't profited from the previous wars?
We profited, yes, but those wars did not involve peoples that came from here. Those wars did not involve our ships.
Do you know what those wars also didn't involve? The elves. Yet, the wildlands are currently being bombarded. You are going to tell me that you don't think that once they've dealt with everything else, they're coming here?
No. Because if they had the guts to do it, they'd have done it already. The Wildlands are dangerous. If they're committing resources there...
Oh, the Wildlands that don't have ships. The Wildlands that don't have 5 captains with small fleets.
Small fleets.
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, you say small fleets and you see Marie's eyebrow twitch. And so you think that we should just let this go? We should let you go back out there?
No. I think that you should fight.
You
call yourself...
Wait. You're serious?
You don't want to fight? I thought you were a brave captain, not someone who hid in a moored ship.
Look here, Stormheart. Just because you found a ship in the middle of nowhere doesn't suddenly make you a captain. Our positions were earned, fought for. Our crews trust in us. And we have led this city for the past 20 years without the Empire coming to our door.
Last 20 years, that's right. 15 of those, they were, I believe, taking over an entire country while you managed a single city. You boast of your strength, yet I see nothing.
You cannot deny, Captain Merrick, that a certain amount of money that has continued to flow into the Empire has, rather than been going to goods we can steal, going toward better ships, better guns on ships. You know, that sort of thing that generally makes it a little harder for us to be us. Or is my fleet the only fleet encountering this? The other captains remember their acknowledgement. I think Marshall will speak up. I can't speak to the whole council. However, I, unlike the others, did serve in the war, and your reputation precedes you for a reason, Captain. But what you're asking of this council is not just to let you go, not just to protect ourselves, but to get out there and attack the Empire directly?
No, I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying that in a game of chess, there's many pieces, and they all move differently. And you don't ask a knight to move like a pawn.
I think Marie, who probably has the most expressive face of the 5 of them, like, smiles a little bit at the idea of, like, we are not pawns. We. Sarah will speak up. Now, I think we all understand none of us are pawns, but when you know, answer your charges with ignore those, but listen to me instead. It's certain to rub a couple people. She looks at Merrick the wrong way. Now, we're not soldiers. We're not generals. Our crew ain't soldiers. We're pirates. So,
And
if you've got maybe a formal request to make of the council, now might be a good time.
hit every single supply ship going into the wildlands.
And we should do this for what now?
Well, if your code has any value for the life of humans, or elves, anything really, it'd stop a huge massacre from occurring. You'd get gold. And, well, to be honest, it's fun.
I think Captain Card like smiles at that one, like a big old grin. Aye, it is.
As you said, you're pirates. I'm not going to ask you to enter a battlefield if your ships aren't ready for battle. But you're pirates, and to attack random vessels is good. It brings in gold. Gold that you get by selling it back to the people who are going to buy it in the first place. What I'm asking you to do right now is to redistribute where supplies are going. Send them not to the not to the wildlands.
Well, I certainly get where you're coming from, Captain Stormheart. The Imperials tend not to carry a whole lot of gold on their ships. Rather, munitions, food, and yes, those are useful. Terrible food, but useful. But they don't keep a crew happy.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that I've heard recently the Revolution is going to need some new big guns. Big guns that military ships tend to carry.
So, what you're proposing is more of a mercantile arrangement.
Don't ask a pirate to move like a pawn.
And you have the coinage to back this up?
The Revolution will, soon.
Soon. We cannot pay our crew with soon.
But I kind of just look around the ship. You're not bleeding for coin right now.
No, because we work. Where? Where? If you are this captain with this plan, where are you going to get your coin?
Oh,
Where has coin abundant enough for you?
the mines of Mara Dune.
They look at each other. Mara Dune has not had anything in its mines for quite some time now.
Yes, it does. It has miners who are about to start a war against the richest empire.
So, we should not steal from the empire directly. We should let you do the stealing, and we shall steal the food. You shall steal the gold, give us some of the gold. We should give you all of the food.
Moving forward the plans quite a bit here. I wasn't going to come to you with this for quite some time. I didn't think that the Pleasure Palace was going to cause this much of an issue. This plan is coming to fruition. Every step of the way, I've had success. What matters now is what happens in Dune Simic in 6 months.
I think perhaps what the esteemed Captain Licour is asking is not what happens in 6 months, but what happens tomorrow. You've been moving around a lot, Constance, and if there's been a pattern, we haven't seen it. Now,
Oh, you haven't seen every single continent.
I mean, roughly, yes. You've seen Mulland when you escaped. We saw Mara Dune when you were causing some trouble, and again causing some trouble. Very brief though in the Wildlands. And in between each of those, you came here and you spent your money and you stole our whores and our crew, and now you just want to rub it in our face.
Stop there for a second. Was that jealousy I heard?
Captain Merrick doesn't get jealous. He gets even.
Yes, well, I'm right here. Yeah, the silence, I'm just gonna...
Yeah, he looks around. You're a disgrace.
Oh, and, that's true. I am. I betrayed my people more than once. I, got arrested. That was fun. Got sent to the highest prison. And blew it up. Well, part of it. And, now I've gone to Mara Dune, spoken to... Well, you don't like my so-called tall tales, so we won't go too far into that, but revolutionaries. Went to the Wildlands, saw how they're doing. Now, if you can't see patterns, there's really one place left for me to go.
I think you noticed Captain Merrick's like confident smirk just sort of like slide off of his face.
There's a emissary, actually, heading the same way as me. Quite the story if the dragon ate them.
Now, are you trying to tell us you're going to the Draconic Isles? All on your own lonesome?
I've got... Sit back. Well, I guess I'm only the captain of a ship. But I have friends, and... The great empires aren't made in a single day, and I plan on meeting some people who've made their own great empires.
I think... Captain Card leans forward. I think we would all be interested in... I'm not gonna beat around the bush anymore. I think we'd all be interested in some dragon gold.
Smile. Well...
Now, see, what I like about this plan is that you go and maybe you get eaten by a dragon. Maybe you do not. But if you do, nothing happens to us. You go away, you are no longer a problem. If you don't get eaten by a dragon and you do come back with gold, then you have the money that I believe, and he looks around, the others would be interested in.
Huh. That sounds about right, and I mean... They are dragons.
We're really gonna let her walk out of here and leave Sanctuary on a ship as a captain.
If you have a personal problem with it, you're free to stand in the doorway.
I mean, my problem with it is you're the captain of a stolen ship. Where's
Stop.
Wake in all of this?
Do you want the real answer? I can show you.
I believe that as much as Captain Wake did not like us, we would be remiss if we did not inquire after her.
She died once, plunging the Leviathan's descent into the arcane. I killed her a second time.
I think, yeah. There's the same, like, looking at each other uncertainly, and Marshall will actually, like, he doesn't look at anybody else. He just looks at you. I'm sorry, Captain. You all know me. You know my crew. You know my fleet. I've seen the kind of arcane wraiths that Captain Stormheart talks about. If she's telling the truth, and I believe she is, I think that's all you'll want to know about the fate of Captain Wake. And the others, like, nod in deference to his position, and Sarah leans forward. Well, now this has been a right cheery meeting. I think we're all in accord except for grouchy old Merrick over there, but he doesn't count all the time. We're gonna let you take your ship and your crew at a sanctuary. But when y'all come back, if y'all come back, you best come back with some gold. We'll be having this talk again. Everyone agreed with that? And like the three of the other captains all nod, and Merrick just, like, folds his arms and glowers at you.
I'm just gonna look at Merrick. Once again, the option. If you have a personal problem, feel free to stand in the door.
You're not worth my time.
That's what they all say.
Well, then we have a deal. Now get your fancy pants on out of here.
I think I'm just gonna be like, all right, well, it was a pleasure. And a reminder that, well, the arcane does great things to you. And I just teleport away.
All right. Constance blinks out of existence with, like, a small crackle of black electricity. And then we cut back to Zaire, Albert, and Toledo, spending some time in just, like, the main lodge area.
Yeah. God, what was the name? Fuck.
Of your early recruit friend?
Yeah.
Vidratha.
Yeah, Vidratha. So I imagine we're sitting there talking,
Mm-hmm.
and like I should look at Zaire, and I'm like, all right, Toledo. I think that we should perhaps talk about more serious issues that have come between me and this organization in the past.
Oh, should we? He sets his drink
About
down.
Vidratha.
Oh.
The name that found itself in every single crevice of that previous conversation we had. A name that hasn't died in 30 years.
Well, it's still the greatest betrayal. Fine order has ever seen in, what was it again? How many hundreds? Never mind. In quite some time.
Even now, I'm filled with regret.
I
In all
hear that
truth,
happens as you get old.
it doesn't seem to have affected you that much, Toledo.
I stay young in my own ways.
Vicariously, I assume.
He smiles.
Oh, yes. Oh, if only I'd stopped her. Fuck.
And why didn't you? Did you really not know? After all that time you'd spent together, how close you were? Could she have played you that well?
She and I had. Oh, sorry. Were you gonna
go
do
ahead,
something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, she and I had differences in the things that we agreed on, but at the time I could not tell if I wholeheartedly disapproved of her actions. What she did was an unprecedented and unforgivable betrayal of the travelers, that's for certain. But in the end, she followed her own principles, and well, as you can see, that's something that's not very commonly seen, even amongst people in this great organization.
And I think should we get a bit of a flashback here?
Yeah.
So I think we flash back. We see a younger Albert. We've seen a younger Albert before, but I think this time he's actually young. Probably in your 20s, maybe.
Yeah.
Like late 20s.
Yeah.
And it's probably in some town in Mulland.
Yeah.
Some like throwaway town, hanging out in a tavern. So what is Albert up to?
I imagine it's like not the kind of reserved back of the bar drinking that you've seen a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you see this like large crowd of people that have all kind of like gathered around. It's these two people sit across from each other. You see Albert on one side, like with like an arrogant grin on his face as he fans his face with his hand of cards.
Mm-hmm.
And in the other side, you see
Vidrotha?
do we have Vidrotha?
Here, I'll type it to you so you can see it written out.
Yeah.
Vidrotha.
And on the other side, you see Vidrotha, all kind of like calmly smiling with like a hand of their own.
Yeah.
And like you see Albert kind of like throw the cards down on the table. That's my win, Vidrotha. Looks like you lose again.
Any last bets? Any last bets before I reveal my hand? No? What a shame. And she lays the cards down. Always one step behind, Albert. And like the whole tavern groans like, no.
I swear, Vidrotha, I will get you.
Oh, I'm sure you will. You just have to go just a little bit faster next time. And she like winks, and we notice that she like kicks you under the table and like flicks her eyes toward some guy in the corner of the room, like counting out coins onto the counter.
Yeah. And you see like Vessinger kind of like lean back and take a drink and like glance over and give a little nod as if he knew what was going on.
Now, my winnings, everyone. Yes, please shower me with your affection. Or your coin works too. And she starts like raking in people's bets, and she's got like the whole tavern's attention. There's some papers sticking out of this man's coat. He like looks very hurried as he's trying to like count out his bet.
Yeah. So like you see Vessinger glance over a couple more times, then look back at Vidratha. Even the fact that you seem to win every single game you play in. I'm still the town favorite.
Oh, of course. People like an underdog.
People like someone who's not an arrogant prick.
That too. The man walks over, and he leans over the table, like completely ignoring you, and puts his coins down on the table. There you are.
You see, kind of like you see the camera like slide sideways a little bit as you see Vessinger just like as he's like taking a drink and he's putting his mug down, like slip the paper out of his pocket.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, thank you. And with that, I think that will pay my bar tab for this past month. Yes? And next week. Wonderful. And it's been lovely, gentlemen, ladies, but I really must retire. Adieu. And she stands up and like passes her coin onto the barkeep. Until next time, Albert. And she steps out the door.
You just see him like steam for a couple seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, you just see him like steam for a couple seconds and like rub his chin. I don't know why I tried to compete in a sleight of hand. I should just talk her into losing. Yes. That seems like it's the smart thing.
Yeah, and like the tavern, dies down, and we get, I think, like a not a montage. I use that word too much. There's a word that I'm looking for. It's the thing where you get a lot of pictures in a row. That's not a montage, but it's
a video
time lapse. Boom.
Oh.
We get a time lapse of the tavern, like everybody moving really quickly around Albert until it's late in the evening, and the barkeep leans over. Well, Vessinger, you had a good night, but I'm closing up.
Oh, come on. One more round, please?
No, I'll be open the same time tomorrow.
I just need to forget,
We all do, dear.
Oh. Alright, he kind of like stumbled out of his bar stool. It's a tavern, not a bar, right?
Yeah, it's a tavern with a bar.
Okay.
Or I guess it's a pub, I should say. So it's mostly bar, not housing space.
You see him like slip around his hand in his pocket, and he like pulls out a key. Oh, that was almost very bad.
You gonna make it home okay?
I'll be fine. No worries about me. And you see Albert like kind of stumble out the door. And like once he gets outside, you see him like kind of slick his hair back, and he stands up straighter, pulls his collar together, and he walks like kind of slow but with a purpose through town, and like past town, past the outskirts, and kind of like this little back wooded area where you see this small clearing, and in that clearing is like a small black skiff. With these like feathery designs, and you could tell it's like clearly not like your common everyday ship, and I imagine Vithrotha is over there too.
I think we see this boat, and maybe we see Albert look a little confused, and then we hear the sound of steel on leather as a blade is drawn, and then you hear Vithrotha say, "Avast! Hand over all your riches."
Like Albert laughs.
What?
I don't have any riches.
Do I not make a believable pirate?
You've cleared me out already.
She puts the sword away and like pulls Albert close and like lands a kiss on his cheek. Did you get it?
What do you think? I'm second rate or something?
Yes, to me.
Your arrogance never ceases to amaze.
I aim to impress.
This is the paper we're looking for, and he kind of like unfolds it in his hands as he hands it over.
If it's what I think it is, all we need is the second piece. Now, this, and she lays it out on a table. There's like a small candle next to it. This is not a map. This will get us nowhere. But, and she shines, like, holds the candle over it. You see some of the letters disappear and leave some that remain in a specific order. Now, if we get the map, this
Is our key.
yes. Now, be a darling. She folds up the paper and, like, hops up onto the side of the ship. I'll only be gone 2 days. Don't let anyone miss me too much. Okay?
I don't think they'll be missing you even if you were gone forever.
You're too sweet.
Of course.
And she, like, flicks the paper. I'll be back with the second half. And, of course, by extension, your second half. Skipper! And then, like, we fade back. So you really had, no idea, then?
Well, to say... This is rather complicated. I could have known. I should have known. But... perhaps I chose to ignore it. Nothing but regret.
I'll drink to that one. And Toledo, like, cheers and throws it back. And meanwhile, I think we see Zaire and they're, like, sort of crouched low in their chair with their face just above their cup, looking at the two of you, like, trying to be ignored so that they can, like, get you guys to keep talking as much as possible. Well, I certainly understand. Luck being a lady, as they say, and ladies do enchant us both.
Well, what was it that our good friends say? Luck and fate are the same, and he kind of, like, takes a look over at Zaire. Like,
Zaire, like, chokes on their drink. What? Yes. I believe that was Toledo's joke. Should we not be? And then Zaire is interrupted by Kelly's voice coming over the sending stone, and I think we see Constance now wherever she is in the city, like walking back from the Marquise. Constance gets the same message from Kelly. Captain and Quartermaster, Constance and Albert, there's something you should see about the Leviathan's descent.
He kind of, like, looks back and forth. Calls it. What's going on, Kelly?
I'm not sure how to say this, and I'm not sure I should. Perhaps it would be best if you saw it.
Just
fair enough.
You hear lightning through the street.
Yeah. Toledo, like, arches an eyebrow over his drink. Sounds
interesting.
Important.
It does sound rather important. And he and Vessinger, like, puts away the sending stone. Now, Toledo, the agreement, you'll uphold it.
I will, so long as it serves fate's interests. And your end?
Well, I'll do the best I can. If anything, I'm known as someone who likes to try.
That you are. Don't walk too quickly to whatever problem it is. I want to give my people time to get there first.
Good luck with that. Maybe they should. Maybe if they grew wings, they might have a chance. And he kind of, like, he like, makes a hand motion to Zaire. Come on, Zaire. Let's see what this issue is.
Yes, of course. A pleasure. Of course, Mr. Toledo, I'm coming. And the two of you head back to, I guess all of you head back to the Leviathan's descent. And once you're there, there's a rope in front of the gangway. As you approach, what do?
Fly over it.
Yeah. Obviously.
Constance.
What? What? What's going on with my ship?
Perhaps best we talk over here on a different ship.
What's happening to my ship?
And
like land right in front of her.
Yeah,
what's happening to a ship?
Kelly has one of the automatons disassembled on the deck of the Lord Ostenwald's Revenge. Well, these things have only been on the ship for less than a week now, and would you look at this? And she presses a button on the power core, and an arc of ghostly green electricity comes off of it.
That is
when Roderick and I made these things, that wasn't what it looked like.
I think I'm going to like grab the core. And
yeah, like
see like
green electricity, like green and black arcs like spark off of your hand and around the power core.
I am trying to figure out how I would describe pushing the green out and replacing it with mine.
Yeah, I mean, you can go ahead and try and do that. I think visually it doesn't look any different. And I'm going to tell you right now you are unsuccessful. Or rather, you are successful, but you're not replacing green electricity with black electricity. You are charging it alternately, just like the core is discharging with black and green energy.
So, am I here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you can't necessarily tell what she's trying to do. She's just holding this thing and it's arcing in this way.
Well, I assumed there would be some risk involved in this whole venture. Now, Constance, I have a slight feeling that there's things that you haven't told us about the Leviathan's descent.
It dropped into the arcane.
That would explain a lot.
Yeah, Kelly like takes 2 big steps back. All right, I'll call Roderick.
Yes.
We don't have enough. We don't have enough golems to run this ship to begin with, and we don't know what the effects of this radiation, this energy, would have on. Well, we can have some guesses, but we need to figure out a way to solve this problem as soon as possible. Kelly, can I trust you to take care of this?
Well, I'm not sure what there is to take care of. I'm not sure even what's happening.
Get Mabel.
The amateur?
as you say. And I think Roderick and Mabel show up around the same time.
Yeah.
And like y'all explain the situation to them, I assume.
Yeah.
And Roderick pulls some. Well, that's very interesting. You see, because, and Mabel cuts in. Oh, so the ship is like Constance.
Yeah.
The difference here, I think, Professor O'Dare, is that Constance is a thinking person, and the ship isn't. Now, it might explain why when Captain Wake passed, the other crew left. Maybe. Well, I guess there's no real good way to put this. I have a feeling that the ship is doing this to the things on it.
Kind of look
Well.
at the ship. What is... And I kind of like look at the electricity. This. Is it
Well,
malfunctioning?
in Wake's case, it was being a ghost. Same with the crew.
I can imagine fresh crew wouldn't fare much better.
I mean, I'd have to run some tests on the energy, but I mean, clearly it's similar to whatever Constance has, but it does something different.
Turns people into ghost crews.
Well,
Who
maybe.
go on murderous rampages through the arcane.
Not to
Okay.
put words to it, but yes.
And that's not a shocker.
Stop. Just look at him.
I have my clever moments.
How long have we been on a crew together? Months? And you're just getting into the shocker jokes? Really? I had expectations from you.
So you see Albert kind of like rub his chin. Constance, do you think you could try to communicate with the ship? Clearly, there was some kind of understanding between it and Captain Wake. It didn't seem like she was just a passenger.
It's any kind of sentient, maybe.
And with regards to you, Mabel, Roderick, Kelly, perhaps it's impossible to say anything. We may want to further research the kind of effects that this has on people and see if we can't develop a countermeasure. A ship that we can't use is not a ship worth keeping.
Absolutely. I mean, the main problem here, unless I'm mistaken, Professor O'Dare, is that previous to Constance, and now I suppose Captain Wake, in a sense, no one has survived going through the arcane. No one's come back. I mean, it really begs the question why now that's not the case.
Well, I think there's someone else we might be able to ask.
Fate is a mysterious thing. Nobody knows how it works.
When I brought up, Wake, Marshal Price, one of the captains of the council, he knew what I was talking about. It might be worth my time to talk to him.
He would probably know more about the subject than any of us.
It certainly beats turning into a ghost.
Well, but...
Just to be clear, I'm not going back on that ship. I just want to get that out of the way now.
Just gotta look at her.
Albert's just laughing.
I think at this point I'm gonna like put my hand on the side of the ship, and you're gonna see like the sparking electricity, and like me trying to like focus into the electricity to see if I can feel a presence from it.
Are you gonna go back over to the Leviathan's Descent then?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a wisdom save. Charisma save.
Well, let's just pop this inspiration right here.
That doesn't seem important.
I think the wisdom save might have been better for you for what?
Nope.
Ooh.
I didn't get the 1.
That's true. That's true. You did not get the 1. So I think for the rest of us, we see Constance walk over to, or hover over, or teleport over to the Leviathan's Descent and place her hands on the railing of the ship and close her eyes. And then there's this blinding flash as a massive explosion of electrical energy surges out of her and skitters across the entire length of the Leviathan's Descent, and she just drops like a sack of potatoes onto the deck.
All right, so immediately you see Albert like jump up and like jump up with his wings, staying above the deck, like grab Constance's body and fly off.
Okay.
Back onto the side of the onto the port.
Okay. Yeah, she's out cold. But her eyes are moving quickly. And I think we'll scene down and scene back up to an unconscious Constance in her mind.
Oh no.
Um, and we've seen this once before. We've seen Constance dream. Um, and what is Constance dreaming about?
I think this time, I'm not in the black box, right?
In like this the endless darkness.
Well, am I free this time in my
you're
dream?
dreaming. What are you dreaming?
Okay, yeah. So I think this time it's going to be Constance. It's like a more of a memory
Mm-hmm.
of like just flying through the desert on her old Weber
Mm-hmm.
as like a giant storm cloud is following her.
Yeah. And so the storm appears to be catching up. Like rain starts to fall around Constance. And I think we see you duck into a cave quickly. And like in one fluid movement come off of the back of the wyvern. And sort of like trot further into the cave. And her elfin sight allows her to see in the darkness, and like we see this winding passageway back into the mountain, and then it opens up, and Constance is standing alone in the darkness that she'd been trying to avoid. And I think maybe immediately we see the energy crackling off of her as she recognizes like the space that she's in, and the other Constance from before, the perfectly still one, is standing there. Hello.
You again? Me again?
I mean, it's your mind.
Yeah, it is. It is plenty dark and cloudy and filled with lightning.
A little different now, though, isn't it?
I look around. It's just darkness.
Yeah, it's
Right.
just darkness, but like the electricity coming off of you is now in black and green.
It's lightning. It's already unnatural.
You're not that stupid. We're not that dumb.
But maybe it's not that bad.
I'm not saying it is. But have you really paid attention to it? I mean, clearly you saw it's there, but is your lightning different?
I haven't tested it. It's different, yes.
No, it's not. Look again.
Is it just lightning?
It's still black and green. Different isn't the right word, Constance. You can see it, or else I wouldn't be able to point it out to you. If it's not different, what is it?
I'm just gonna like raise my arm and just shoot a bolt of lightning into the distance.
Yeah, and we see these like intertwined black and green, like these two black and green bolts shoot out into into the abyss.
Well, that means that might not be my lightning.
No. Okay, it's all about words, Constance. I know you don't like them too much, but it's not different. And she like reaches forward and pulls on like the green, and it separates from you. Like we see Constance lurch forward a little bit as it's pulled from her. It's not different. It's more. And she lets go. And now we can tell that like she's just as electric as she was before, as far as like the black energy coming off of her, but now there's this added green.
Look at it. Is this gonna be a problem? Just like look at the other me. You like this, don't you?
Don't you?
Maybe. We'll see how it lightnings. Cat looking at all this electricity, just
I mean, what did you say to me, to yourself, last time we spoke?
we need more power.
See?
Stop, just look at the other me. Just stand there, like, just, yeah. Blankly staring at each other for
like this uncomfortable period of time. And does the sort of like storm emanating off of Constance from her frustration die down a little, or what?
Yeah, at this point it's like she's not frustrated, she's just questioning, like, even this other self, if it's her or what the arcane left on her.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the embodiment of lightning that she is talking to.
Now, I think, and then the other Constance disappears, and then we get like a close-up shot of Constance's of your face as you look around, and then we see a second version of your face like lean over your shoulder and whisper into your ear, "It's time to wake up." And let's go to our third and final break. So we're gonna take a quick break, stretch out, get out our willies. Wait, never mind. Ignore everything I've ever said. We're just gonna stand up and
Willies
pretend
out.
that I've never said anything. Bye. Back soon.